Hello, and welcome to Strategy Stories from the Real World, a series where we look inside at how leaders outside of Silicon Valley and the Fortune 1000 make tough and thoughtful strategic decisions. My name is Allegra Walls, and I will be today's host. Welcome back to our series focused on vision statements. In this question and answer format, we'll be asking different leaders how they're accelerating their impact. Specifically, during each show, we'll be digging into how leaders set and achieve their bold vision for success and how it helps them to lead their organizations impactfully. Today's guest is Tony Quiñones. Tony is the CEO of BrightPath Laboratories. He is an impact investor whose experience in entrepreneurship, venture capital, and operations allow him to create thriving and successful organizations. His organization, BrightPath Labs, is a drug development and manufacturing company that is set out to lower drug costs for all Americans. Their manufacturing technology is pushing to solve some of our most significant healthcare challenges, including creating a resilient ingredient supply chain, reducing the risk of drug shortages, and increasing access to medicine for the most underserved and overlooked populations. We're seriously honored to have him on our show today and can't wait for him to give us an inside look at how they created one of our favorite visions of success. Welcome, Tony. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
So let's just jump right in. You've been the CEO of BrightPath for 3 years. What's your leadership style and how does it feel to be a part of your organization?
Well, I feel lucky to be a part of our organization, and I'm very fortunate to have been able to gather a great group of very experienced people, both inside of pharmaceutical manufacturing facilities and organizations, as well as people that have never stepped foot in a factory in their lives. So I've been able to bring these group of people together, and I think it largely has to do with a vision and a sense that they've all had a shared experience with someone in their lives that have dealt with the pain and suffering in not having affordable medicines available to them. Mm-hmm. So the leadership part of it is somewhat easy, just in the sense that it's being able just to say, hey, this is what it is that I want to set out to do. I don't know how to do this regulatory piece. I don't know how to do this technical piece, but what I do know is this. Can you help me with your skill set? And what we've been able to do is gather a very eclectic group of people to say, I know my role, my part, Tony knows his, Phil knows his, Jennifer knows hers. And as we've been able to do this, I've been able over the last 3 years to say, I am so lucky to be able to lead a fantastic group of people and that have this shared vision and sense of urgency to do something that's so important for patient populations.
That's incredible that you've used everyone's strengths to create synergy within your organization that align with your vision. We always like to ask leadership about that because just the leadership in your organization has so much to do with paving the way for the direction in which your organization is going. Since this series is about bold visions, would you describe yours for me, please?
Our vision is to utilize the technology that we've developed over a period of years to make pharmaceutical ingredients in the orphan rare disease space. As we've experienced in the COVID era, a number of our supply chains were exacerbated by difficulties in bringing products in. So we added to our vision not only to focus just on orphan rare disease, but essential medicines, bringing the cost down and using a more environmentally friendly manufacturing process to get that onshore in the United States using our technology. And we've been, so far in the last 3 years, been fortunate to be able to get that technology proven, being able to get it working with the FDA to be able to say, okay, what are the processes and procedures that you'd like to see, and build a company around that process.
Leadership requires bringing people along in your journey. So how'd you get your team to buy into that vision?
Well, since we've all shared a vision of making medicines and making them affordable to the most vulnerable, it does make it a simple to utilize everyone's skill sets that we all need, because it's a very complex process, and both from the regulatory standpoint, but also just the fact that it's chemistry, and it's a chemistry that's going to go into a human and cure a disease or ease the pain and suffering of that individual. It really makes it like you walk into work every day with purpose, and everyone shares that vision because they want to be a part of something that maybe they set out to do 30 years ago in their career, and maybe got a little lost in the engineering or the profitability of it. And now they have a sense that they can do something that's going to change the industry, and they all want to be a part of it.
Creating purpose and changing the industry. Amazing. Can you tell us where you are on the journey and where you are today against that vision for success?
Yeah, so it's been pretty exciting past 6 months for us. We've been able to take some of the goals that we had set out, and we've been able to accelerate our timelines, of which we thought we'd be at the end of the year being able to start making the medicine and put it on what they call stability. And we set out that goal, and as of yesterday, we moved our goal up a bit. So we're looking at in June, we're going to have our first medicine. It's a part of a cancer treatment that's going to go on what they call stability by June, and then it goes through a process of analysis. So we're super excited, very, very motivated that we've been able to hit that, and we're able to talk to our customer yesterday, and everyone's fired up that in 2 or in 3 months. We're going to be ahead of where we thought we would be.
That's incredible, Tony. Thank you for sharing that about, this upcoming amazing milestone in June. Can you share a little bit about different highlights or mile markers that you've celebrated along the journey getting to this point?
Sure. It was a year ago last week that, after this long journey of wondering what the FDA wanted to do with continuous flow manufacturing, that we had the opportunity to sit down with our emerging technology team in Silver Springs, Maryland, and discuss with them where we're at with our technology, how we would be able to assist in taking some of the drugs that are chronically on the drug shortage list and help lower the cost, but more importantly, help build a sustainable supply. And I think we were all pleasantly surprised at their responses, like, go, make it happen. And so the last 2 years, we've been building all the processes, procedures, adding additional equipment in our 2 facilities, one in Santa Fe, New Mexico, the other one in North Carolina. And in some ways, I feel like we're ahead of schedule. We're certainly have had a couple challenges along the way because of COVID. But I think even with that, we've been somewhat fortunate to be resourceful and be able to find the necessary people and the equipment to be able to stick to our timelines.
That's amazing. I know that you've had a couple of setbacks because of COVID, so I just want to dig a little deeper and ask, can you get a little vulnerable with me for a second, if you don't mind? What are some of the other detours outside of COVID that you've experienced, and how did you get back on track?
Oh boy, a couple of the detours were, thinking that we had the right focus on the right product and spending time and our resources working on that product, only to find out that the shift in that need and that demand happened very abruptly after spending 4 months and a lot of energy on it. It was somewhat deflating, but we did learn along the way. We did develop, I think, a cohesiveness in the team, and we're able to utilize some of the processes that we built as we then shifted back over to where the demand was going. And but yeah, it was a bit unfortunate, and I think we recovered, but it was like, wow, we could have been further ahead, but we learned that. And I think what we ended up doing is we we really started to dig into more of the hospital data, start reaching out to the hospital associations and some of the group purchasing organizations in our industry. And it's been able to say, okay, look, these are their pain points. These are essentials. They always need them. They always have challenges. And so it's really been able to help us to know that we're focused in the right area.
That's awesome. You never lose. You either win or you learn.
That's right.
So for our final question, our followers love practical tips and takeaways. What is the one gem or nugget of wisdom that you want to share with other leaders about visioning or vision statements?
I think it's a quote from John Maxwell. Knowing who is with you is more important than where you're going. I think we've learned along our journey that some of our knowledge experts weren't as knowledgeable, and that's okay. We've been able to get comfortable with not knowing and working hard to find out questions. When you're doing something that's so new, we have had to get comfortable with saying, look, no one else has done this before. Therefore, let's ask questions and be comfortable with making our mistakes, but move quickly in getting to the right answers, but be comfortable with not knowing.
That's great advice, Tony. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom today. We're really happy to kick off this new video series and can't wait to share insight from some of our favorite leaders around the globe.
Hi, everyone. Erica from On Strategy here. Thanks for tuning in. We just heard from Tony about the impact of having a vision that truly connects and inspires. So we created a checklist so you can ensure that your vision is indeed inspiring. Let's check it out. An inspiring vision points to a destination that is different than today. It's bold, it's courageous, it's strong, it's exciting. An inspiring vision is clear and maybe breaking some rules. Clarity over brevity. Sometimes it takes a longer vision to be clear about where you want to go and to ensure that it articulates why. We need to know why we're going where we're going. And last, but certainly not least, connect with the heart. Everybody needs to connect that big future state with the personal why it matters. There you have it. Thanks for tuning in. If you like our content, subscribe. We drop videos every week. And of course, happy strategizing.